Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am Alinga Sise of Urban Harvest Organic Farm. For all of you who have subscribed to my YouTube channel, I am so grateful. And for those who are still new, please kindly consider subscribing to the YouTube channel. Click on the notification bell so that you never miss out any upload. Share this video, comment in the comment section down below, and I'll be so grateful. Today I'm super excited because I want us to look at some better facts about this project, especially when you're going to do the layer project. This is what some of us keep it away from you because we don't want you to get discouraged. But today I want us to talk into details about them. Actually, I have been noting them down there just right here. So we are going to look at them one by one so that when you start this project, at least you're the one who have decided to do the project and you know some of this better truth about this project. We are going to discuss mainly about the layer project. I think that is what I am well versed about. We are going to leave out the local birds and the broilers and then the improved local birds. We are going to talk basically about the layer birds. Now, the first truth that you must know is that it is not for the weak. This project is not for the weak. Why have I said so? Sometimes you can raise the birds very well, just like you see how our birds are very active. All of you are appreciating these birds. And then all of a sudden, they will end up not laying eggs. Probably there's something you've done wrong somewhere and they fail to lay eggs. Or the birds will start laying eggs very well and all of a sudden they drop into production. Remember, you've been investing money and now you're very happy expecting good results and they have started laying very well and all of a sudden the birds drop in production. Honestly, if you're not strong-hearted, you can't handle the pressure that you will have when your birds have dropped in production. If you check in the comment section, so many of you are under this pressure or tension because your birds were laying very well and they have dropped in production. So just know, poultry farming, especially when you're going to do layers, it's not for the weak. You have to go ready for any challenge that is going to come your way. Now, the second one that you must know is that it is not a very cheap venture to start. It is not cheap at all. You must be prepared for this project. Before you start it, you must be prepared. Just like last time we discussed about so far how much I used in this project from the time go, like from construction up to now when the birds have already made 6 weeks. Actually, they are now heading to their 7th week. Very soon they are going to make 7 weeks. Okay? But if I can still bring you to the board here, that is so far the amount of money that we have spent. But remember, these birds have just made 6 weeks. They are now soon finishing their 7th week. How about up to when they start laying eggs and they stabilize? Because when they start laying eggs, at least you give them 2 months for them to stabilize. How much will I have spent on these birds? So just know it is not a very cheap project to start with. You must prepare money because the challenge is if you don't have money for feeds, you will not bargain with the birds that today I don't have the money, please let us first wait for tomorrow. The fact is they have to feed and you have to get that money and feed the birds. So please, it is not a very cheap project. So when you go coming for the layer farming, you must know that you must get prepared for them. And then another thing that you must know is that the more numbers of the birds, the more profits you will have. If you have few number of birds, of course, your growth will also be slowly. Okay? Someone who started with 1,000 birds, the growth is not at the same pace with someone who started with 300 birds or 500 birds. So, if you have many number of birds, you have more profits. If you have few number of birds, you also have little profits. So it is a project of numbers. So it is a game of numbers. So those are some of the facts that you must know when you're going for this layer project. Number 4 is that you must be aware that this project has so many diseases. So many diseases that even us who are using the herbal remedies, you're not sure of tomorrow. Anytime, any day, you find your birds getting hit by a poultry disease. So you must do the right thing as it is recommended, because any mess like this, you're making those birds prone to the diseases. And remember, sometimes when these birds get these chicken diseases, you will end up not saving them, and that is already money gone. So you start the project when knowing anytime you can even make such losses. Just like, remember, we brought 716 birds, but currently we are left with only 676 birds. We've lost birds, so many birds, over 32 birds. So that is one thing that you must know, is that these birds, there are so many diseases that can affect them. That's why I always emphasize that biosecurity is very, very important. Let us start giving them the herbal remedies as early as possible, and let us make sure we give them clean drinking water and feeds that are not contaminated. That is the only way we are going to fight those poultry diseases. And then another bit of fact that I want you to know is that it is best when you, the owner of the farm, is always available. This is the truth. I think you can even write to me in the comment section if I am lying. This project, if you start it and give it fully to the workers, trust me, you will not achieve your goals. You must always be present as the owner of the farm. Trust me. Trust me, this is the bitter truth. So if you're so busy, then this is not your project. You must always create time for these birds. You must always come and check the birds. It is not a project that you will start and leave in the hands of workers. I think it is not only this project. I think all the businesses out there, if you leave it in the hands of workers, you cannot attain your goals. People who have grown fully in this project, they did it themselves, and even if not by themselves, but they are always present in the farm. So this project, you must always be available. Okay? And then another thing that you must know is that the prices of eggs always keep fluctuating. So that means the profits also keeps on changing. You never get constant profits. Now, like we've been having eggs at 11,000, like that is the farm price, 11,000 Ugandan shillings. But it is starting to drop, and it can end up dropping up to 9,000 Ugandan shillings or 8,500. So that means, see, your profits are never constant. The prices keep on fluctuating. Okay? And sometimes the eggs can be too many in the market that you will end up not getting the customers for your eggs, especially if you are a beginner. Even for those who are not beginners, you find that there are so many eggs piled in the stores. No one is there to buy the eggs. So please, you must be aware of that. And then also another thing that I want us to know is that feed sometimes can be very, very expensive. Feed sometimes can be very, very expensive. Recently, our feeds, I can say, it has somehow reduced. Okay, it also increased a bit, but when the maize were just coming out, it reduced because the prices of feeds basically are determined by the price of the maize. When the maize is in the market, the farmers have harvested the maize. You find that the prices of feeds, chicken, poultry feeds, go down because there is too much maize in the market. But if the maize is still in the garden, the prices of feeds are always very, very expensive. So as a beginner, you have to time which season are the prices of maize low. That is the best season for you to start the project. Now currently, at least the maize is still a bit cheap. I think we are still at 1,200 Ugandan shillings, but there are times that it can even go up to 1,700, 1,800 Ugandan shillings. Right now, our birds are a bit calm because they have finished feeding. They have finished drinking, okay? That's why you see most of the birds are still resting. Actually, that's why I decided to actually make the video at this time. So make sure that when you're starting the project, plan for the maize in advance. At least maize you can buy it and store it, but the maize bran you can't store it because for it to get spoiled very fast and it cakes very, very fast. And then also another thing that I want us to know is that workers sometimes can be a headache in this project. I really don't know why. I've got so many farmers who complain about the workers. You will come to the farm, you find that the drinkers are empty without the drinking water. So if you, the owner of the farm, is never around, you realize that your birds will stay most of the time without the drinking water, which is not good. This also makes the birds not to grow very fast. And then also, sometimes you find that birds are not given feeds at the right time. So you just have to know that as you plan to start the project and you're going to put someone to help you there do the work, the workers are really a headache, okay? They can really disturb you. They will never do the right thing that you want them to do. Whether you're paying them money or little money or high amount of money, the workers can mean to be a very big problem in this project. And any little mistake in this project, by the way, you account for it. It retards on production, it retards on growth. So that is one of the bitter truth about poultry farming. And then another one that I want us to know is that the breed of the birds also matters. Now, like currently, we have the Hisa Brown. Currently, we have the Hisa Brown, and the laying birds, we have the Lomond Brown. But these two are different breeds altogether. I've had Hisa Brown before. However, during that time, it was the first time, and actually, I can say that their performance, I didn't understand it very well. That was the season where I got hit by the poultry disease and I lost so many. But during that time, I had two different types. I had the brown neck and the Isa Brown. But these two breeds are different. Then currently we have also the Lomond Brown, which are busy laying eggs. But the difference that I have seen with the other brown neck is that when the birds are old, their eggs are super big. But when they are still young, they are not disease resistant at all. Now, right now, we switch off lights at sometimes at 10:30 p.m., sometimes at 11 p.m. And you wake up in the morning, the birds are okay, no mortality. But with the brown neck, I could find lots of birds have died. Okay, when it is their first time and they are still young like this, you can't just switch off lights and those birds are okay. You find that you've lost so many birds. So those are some of the differences. So the breeds of these birds also matter. And then the other brown neck, honestly, to me, they were not disease resistant. But with the Lomond Brown, they are so disease resistant. And with the Isa Brown that we have currently, you are all appreciating how these birds are very active. Okay, they are all feeding well, they are growing very fast. You can see others are sleeping, but others get up, go and feed. So all the time you find that the birds are very active. So the breeds also matter. Let us not go for the breeds that people complain so much about. Okay, and then also the companies where we get these birds matter. So many of you are asking, which company are you getting your birds from? Okay, me, I get my birds, currently I'm getting the birds from an agent. That's why my chicks are very expensive. One chick costed me around 5,300 Ugandan shillings. But the Lomond Brown, It comes from Turkey, and I think their price was at almost 6,000 Ugandan shillings. So please let us buy chicks from companies that are authentic and companies that so many people have recommended us to use. Okay, so those are some of the bitter facts that I wanted us to know about this project. That when you're going to start the project, at least you are aware of what you're going for, and you are at least ready for it. I'm seeing some drinkers are empty. I think let us remove them and we add some water. Okay, you must not leave drinkers which are empty inside the farm. Even if other drinkers still have water, make sure that those ones that the water is done, you remove them, so that these birds know that in this space there is nothing. If you leave for them there, they will end up keeping on coming there, and they will not go to the drinkers which has water. So I think let us first remove these ones, then we shall add the water later. So we are going to start treating our chronic respiratory diseases very soon, because I told you we are going to give the plain water at least for 3 days, and then after that we are again going to repeat treating the chronic respiratory diseases. Chronic respiratory diseases, we should keep treating it, because that combination that we are going to use helps in so many other poultry diseases. So that is why when they are now again going to the 8th week, we have to again give that same treatment. So that is what we are going to do after the plain water. So for today, that is all I had for you. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for always coming back. Thank you so much for loving me. But if you're still new, please consider subscribing to the YouTube channel. Click on the notification bell so that you never miss out any upload. Share this video, comment in the comment section down below, and I will be so grateful. See you next time. I love you all. Bye-bye.